to tonight's final press conference. I'm Julie Gray with the Southern Conference. For Furman, we have head coach Bob Ritchie, along with J.P. Pegues and Marcus Foster. We will start with an opening statement from Coach Ritchie, and then I'll open the floor for questions. If you have a question, I ask that you raise your hand, and someone with a microphone will come to you. Coach?
First of all, unbelievable college basketball game, and I've been trying to tell everybody how good this league is. I mean, and I just don't think people understand it. I don't think they've understood it for years. But the quality of basketball, you saw it on display today, right, from noon to tonight. And give Justin a lot of credit. I've got a lot of respect for Justin. We've had some classics with him, and going back to here in the semifinals last year, the home game at our place tonight, and you know, we knew coming into the game that we were going to have to do a much better job on Woolbright, and player of the year, you know, voted by the coaches and the media, and we knew we were going to have to do some things differently, and give our team a lot of credit. I mean, to have a player that good, scored 9 points on 14 shots and turned them over 6 times, that's why we were able to win the game. And you know, we were able to survive an incredible shooting display by Robertson and by Jackson to start the game. It felt like they were hitting everything, but our players kept fighting. And we've talked about it all week. This tournament, I mean, it's a war. And you know, you've got a lot of good teams in this thing, and there was going to be some defining moments, and we talked about it all week. And you know, we were going to have to answer those. And so when we went down 4, and it looked like it was getting a little bit crazy, we took that time out, and we said, hey, look, this is going to be the defining moment. And you know, JP was unbelievable all night, and you know, he's just a warrior. And Marcus, what he was able to do basically late in that game, you know, not having the 3-point shooting night he wanted to have, but to go back in that game when we were down 4 and to get 2 back-to-back buckets down there, he was a huge part of that win. And couldn't be more proud of our team. Every single person that played did something to help us win, and that's the power of the unit. That's how Furman's won. That's how we will always win. And once we can have that connection like that, but every single person that played tonight, I mean, Cooper Bowser, the double block right there, Carter Witt to get the steal there late, P.J. Smith to dive on the floor, you know, right there to end the game. Just unbelievable grit by Alex Williams on defense. And everything he's been through, I couldn't be more proud of him. He had the guts to take the 3 in transition tie game, missed it, and he continued to just get stops. And look, when this team guards, we can beat a lot of people, and we know that. Unfortunately tonight, you know, once we got transition defense shored up after the first 5 minutes of the game, and once we did a much better job guarding our shooters, you saw an unbelievable defensive effort that allowed us to get, obviously, a classic victory.
Coach, given the way the regular season ended, we talked a little bit about maybe the reset button now in Nashville. I think the way things kind of came down the stretch, a lot of people might not have expected Alex Williams and Carter Witt to play much at all tonight, and to do what they did. Was it kind of a true reset button for them in terms of getting back to a little bit how they played midseason?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about this team, you know, we don't put a ton of stock in what people say or think, you know, in terms of how they're going to be. We know what we have to do internally, and I thought we had as good a practice on Wednesday and Thursday as we've had in this calendar year. I mean, going back to probably October, to be honest with you. Wednesday's practice was really, really good. And, you know, I challenged our team coming off of that. You know, we didn't watch any of the Mercer game. You know, we moved on. And we know why we didn't win the Mercer game. They played really well, and we didn't play good second half defense in Cullowhee or in Greenville. We gave up 103 points in 2 second halves, right? Tonight we give up 27 points in the second half. It's a decision. It's a choice, right? Like, it's a choice. And that's life. Like, you got to make the decision to do the hard things. And tonight we did. And it was a brutal start. It was a brutal start. And we got the box score. We were down 9, 40-31. They were shooting like 70%. And I just told them, I said, hey, they're shooting 70% and you're only down 9. Like, we can shut this thing down, but we can go out there and we can get this defense better. And P.J. Smith, I mean, his defense from that timeout forward was incredible. And I know at one point I looked at this thing and they were 8 for 15 from 3 in the first half. And they finished the game 8 for 19 from 3 which means they didn't make another three from that point on. Probably the last, I guess if you take OT, probably close to 29 minutes that we were able to keep them without a three. And that was a part of the game plan. You know, we chose to change where we were bringing help from. And, you know, they've got shooting around it. Pelote had a huge game in Cullowhee. Jones and Jackson got going in that second half. And we decided to bring help off the five. And, you know, our guys did a great job adjusting that part of the game plan because it's not something we've really done all year. And Garrett and Cooper and those guys did a great job of really making sure that we didn't have to come off of shooters. And Woolbright wasn't able to get down there and find those guys open. We were able to stay out. And I thought that had a huge impact on the game.
Coach, can you talk about how big another guy was for you guys? Garrett Heaton down the stretch. He didn't, score until late, but he had the big and one and then the dunk that I think he was fouled on as well. Could you just talk about his play and when you needed a basket offensively, he was there to get
I love the trust that JP had in him. You know, I love that. I love the fact that JP had every right to shoot that ball. You know, but he made the right play, right? And I challenged G in team meeting last night. I said, I'm tired of hearing all this stuff. Tired of hearing that you've been 29 minutes on the NCAA floor in Orlando with 7 points and 6 rebounds, okay? And you've affected winning at the highest of levels. And I challenged him last night in the hotel. I said, I want you to go out there tonight with confidence that you're the best post player on that floor. And I thought the dunk, what an incredible pass, first of all, by JP. Little wrinkle we had, and another action that he can easily take that shot and nobody would have complained about it. But he catches G cutting, and for him to go up with the dunk, that's mentality. And that's where Garrett's at his best, right? It's not about, hey, look, guess what? He missed 2 threes tonight, okay? Who cares, right? He played the game with grit. He played with toughness. He played with confidence. He made plays at the rim. And you know what else? He also missed free throws tonight. Who cares, right? Just go play. And that's what I love about him. He went out there fouling out, to be honest with you. I'm good with it, because I know he's playing physical, and I know he's playing aggressive. And Garrett Heaton's a really, really good player. When his mentality is like it is tonight, he can affect winning in a lot of ways.
Coach, you mentioned the bad start. 4 for 4 from the field, 11 to 3. Rena may be the loudest it's been all day. What did you say to your players to calm them down?
I think it was probably a little bit of what we said before the game. We actually anticipated that. And we talked about that this morning in team meeting. There was a lot of emotion going into this game, okay? And, a lot of discussion about the game last year. And, there was also a situation where they brought back a lot of guys, right, to have their version of basically what we went through last year. They lost on a heartbreaker to us in semis. And give Woolbright credit. Give Jackson credit, right? Give Jones credit. They all came back. And when people make a decision to come back, that means it's more about them. It's about team. It's about, hey, we want to go do something special. And they've played really well these last 2 games. They beat us in Cullowhee, and they went to Chattanooga and won by a pretty good margin. And we knew they were going to come in determined, right? That, hey, this is their last shot at this. And I told the team, I said, look, this is going to be a very emotional start. And you're going to have a lot of fans. Cullowhee's not far from here. Greenville's not far from here. And look, everybody knows how this game ended last year. And they're going to be hungry. And they got a lot of guys. This is their last go-round. And I told them, I said, we're going to have to be able to dissolve that emotion in the game. And if we can find a place where we can just settle. And so when we got to that, I called that timeout much earlier, and I typically take a timeout. And that's really all we talked about, right? Like we have to calm. And our transition defense was a mess, and obviously Robertson banged those shots, and they got going a little bit. But as my old boss used to say, if you're gonna get down early. And our guys kept fighting.
Marcus, last week in Cullowhee, Woolbright gets a triple-double, they win. And it seems like it almost would be a thing where some people might maybe prefer him to score 25 points and have 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He nearly had triple-double again tonight, but you held him in check so well from a shooting standpoint. He had to take so many shots to get the points he did. What was the key to your game? I know it's a team effort, but personally, that one-on-one battle to come out on top with a player like that, how does that?
Yeah, it was more so just being aggressive and coming out with the right mentality. Coach challenged me also in film, just telling me that I needed to come out with the intensity because it's 2 off-conference players going at it. And then I also had a huge help from my teammates, especially Garrett Heen and Cooper Bowser down there. We had a solid game plan. I would say it's probably our best game plan when we faced them. And so I just feel like we executed today at a high level. And also Alex Williams did a great job when I had to come out or guard a different player. He was able to stay on it and make his life very tough. And so I just want to attribute that to our team and great execution.
JP, this game, seemingly down the stretch this season, the team's gone through some droughts, and you've kind of figured out that you need to get the team a basket. Is that something that you've navigated as you've gone along in your career and kind of gotten better at knowing when to kind of pull the trigger?
I mean, I guess for the mentality for myself, I mean, just my teammates and my coaches telling me to be aggressive all the time. Like, I have the mentality that it's never a wrong time to pull that trigger. You know, every possession is super valuable to us, and we want to win every possession. And, you know, my teammates and my coaches, they instill that confidence in me. And, you know, it goes right back. You know, we look back at, as we said, I mean, Mark comes in, 2 huge post baskets. I mean, that's just the trust and confidence that we have in each other. Like Coach was saying, there was some shots like Garrett Heen where I could have shot it, but I trust Garrett so much in that connection that we have for each other. You know, I can live with the results with the ball in his hand at a time like that, and I feel like that confidence that I instill in him helps our team overall.
Coach, what was the decision behind the decision to, when you replaced Garrett with Carter late in regulation and then there again in overtime when Garrett fouls out? Because obviously it's noticeable difference. You get smaller and everything, but what went into that decision?
Well, we did that in Greenville, and you know, the Warriors used to call that death lineup with Draymond at the 5, and where you're just maximizing shooting, and it was just a chess match play. Like, you're basically saying, hey, if Lampkin's just going to sit at the rim, then we got to do something to basically be able to see if we can pull him out. And you know, we knew they were going to make an adjustment in terms of how they guarded a couple of the actions from the Greenville game, and we didn't play that lineup any in color. It was a little bit of a regret on my part. But, you know, it's really at that point they had to go small. And so now once they go small, you don't have a footer down in the paint at the basket. And so it allows us to get to the basket a little bit more. And we felt like they were going to play through Woolbright late. And, you know, they had a nice little elbow ball screen with the guard right there with Jones that we messed up on the first time in terms of how we wanted to guard it, but did a better job on it the second time. But we had confidence in that lineup. You know, basically, we were down 5 in Greenville when we went to that lineup, and really that's how we ended up, you know, getting the win in that game. And it was just a spacing thing. And really, you know, I thought Carter was playing well. You know, I thought he was getting out in transition. I thought he was doing some good things for us. And, you know, I thought he was playing well. Obviously, Alex, I mean, I just, man, to see him play that hard, to know everything he's been through this year, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, he just absolutely just put his guts on the line. And I didn't want him off the floor. And then, you know, we wanted to rest Mark a little bit. And then, you know, basically we didn't want to take him off the floor. And so we just made that decision to go smaller just to get the most playmakers out there at that moment.